What's up, everyone? Welcome to the new show. Did you hear that? I'm your host, Brandon, the owner-operator, Desperado Metal Designs. This is my co-host, my lovely daughter, Annavay.
Hi.
And, we've decided to start this show to basically just feed into some of our interests. We like to talk about ghosts. I love to talk about Bigfoot and aliens, despite, you know, popular, unpopular opinions. Um, but yeah, we just decided to start this show to have some fun and talk about stuff that we like to talk about, stuff that we would just normally talk about anyways. And yeah, that's the show. Let's get into it.
It's a ghost town with a dummy lock. Time intervals, they're in flux. Troubled irons, I'm a magnet. Counterproductive, radioactive. Catch your blessings.
So, we've definitely talked about doing this for a while,
Yeah.
and I said, screw it. We already have the stuff. Let's just, put something together and start a podcast.
Let's do it.
So, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're already doing it. And I think we both already, basically agreed. Topic for this episode is going to be ghosts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I've talked about or been interested in ghosts anytime somebody would talk about it when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know, friends at school. Anytime somebody had a ghost story, everybody had one. My friend's house is haunted. My aunt's house is
Yeah.
haunted. Something.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that your grandmother's house that she used to live in.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I definitely remember a long time ago just being like, no, it's not haunted. They're
Yeah.
just, hearing stuff. It's not, quite as bad as what they think it is, or it's not what they think it is. And
Mm.
yeah, then definitely spending some time there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty, pretty crazy.
Pretty traumatizing.
Yeah, I would say. So, give me a story or just, yeah, anything you want to talk about. Give me a story that stands out to you.
Well, this is my personal opinion. I like talking about stuff that like happened to like us, like in the house and stuff and all that.
Mhm.
So let's talk about my grandma's house. Let's
Yeah.
start that one first because I feel like that's what really led up to majority of the stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So
Where do you want to get started?
let's talk about what happened um when you went to go play drums.
Okay, so the for anybody that isn't familiar with the house, which I'm sure most people aren't,
Yeah.
uh, just picture a big 2-story farmhouse,
Yeah.
big, huge wraparound porch, very, very big yard. Wasn't a lot of um, wasn't a lot of neighbors or anything close by, and yeah, when you would go into the house, go in. First thing you're looking at's a staircase that goes up. There's a hallway that splits beside the staircase and goes into the kitchen
And then the
or
back door.
to the back door straight. Yeah. Um, Immediately, as soon as you go in the door, you look to your left, and there was a room. It was kind of like a junk storage room, and then to your right was the living room slash den.
Yeah, because the living room, the way it was laid out, it was very weird. It's like you walked in, then there was like the living room, and then there was like I guess it was supposed to be a dining room.
Yeah,
Because our dining table was in there and stuff, but that was mainly just used for storage. It wasn't really like you know
yeah, true.
nobody really used it.
I think the only time I ever remember being in there for anything was a Thanksgiving once, and it was just because so many people was there. We
Yeah.
needed extra room or whatever. But the drum set was in the spare room that was immediately to your left, and there was a wall that basically split that room and what would be the kitchen. Like if you just went a little further down, the kitchen was there. And I remember your grandpa would get his just randomly bring his mom in to stay,
Yeah.
for like a week, 2 weeks at a time. She would
Yeah.
just randomly just be there.
Mhm.
And I never remember seeing that woman anywhere besides the kitchen, smoking cigarettes
Mhm.
and drinking coffee. She always sat by um, basically the one window that was in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it had like a little table.
Yeah,
I don't know, it was weird.
yeah, just old and different from what you would see now. But
That's one way to describe it, is old.
yeah, it was really really old house. But yeah, so I get off of work early one day. I'd left some stuff there, so I was going over to just to get my stuff. And at the time, I just started learning how to play the drums.
Mhm.
And any chance I got, I would hop on your grandmother's drum set
Yeah.
and just to play along with whatever and just try to learn a little bit. Like I said, I was just getting started, so I wasn't very good, but I would always just like pop on a CD or something and try to play along to it.
Mhm.
And so I go over there. There's no cars in the driveway. No one was there that I knew of, and I was just going to go in and get my stuff. And I thought, all right, this is the perfect time. Nobody's here. Don't have to worry about anybody yelling at me, being too loud, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I go in, I set up a CD, turn the radio on, and right as I'm getting ready to strike the drum, plain as day from the kitchen, which would be the wall that was behind me,
Yeah.
I heard someone go like, kind of muffled, but also um, like in the tone of your grandmother or great grandma.
Yeah.
She said, like, "Hey, what are you doing in there?" And just kind of trailed off.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So she said, "Hey, what are you doing in there?" And it just kind of trailed off. So I, me thinking that it was her because it was so clear, I just remember saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize anybody was here.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, I'll come in there and talk with you for a few minutes." So I'm putting everything back up. I go around to the kitchen, and there's nobody in there. Like it's empty. And I thought, "There's no way." Like I heard someone.
Yeah.
So I run back. I go up the stairs. I'm checking in all the bedrooms, bathroom, go back down. I'd already kind of looked in the living room when I was running up the steps, but I looked again. I ran outside thinking maybe it was somebody like in the neighborhood close by, but like I said, they didn't really have houses close by, so I didn't know. I just ran around the house, nothing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got the hell out of there as quick as I could. And I remember I just got
Yeah.
my stuff, said screw these drums, and I hit the road.
Are you talking about that one room that was like kind of like a sunroom?
Yeah, it was kind of like a sunroom. If you remember the ferret, your
Yeah.
grandma and mom had ferrets, and that's
Yeah.
where they kept it.
Well, there's actually a story to that room too, and I feel like that's why it was so.
I mean, they had stories about just about everything. Another thing I
Yeah.
remember plain as day is footsteps. Like the staircase was like old wooden
Yeah.
steps,
Very creaky.
very creaky, very loud. You couldn't sneak up or down those things for sure.
Mm-mm.
And I remember it didn't matter what time of the day it was. You could be watching TV or something, and you would hear like heel toe going up
Yeah.
and going down. And the first time I heard it, I said, "Who's here?" No one. No, there's no way. There's no one here. Like that's somebody in this house.
They're like,
No,
no, it's just my
nah.
friend.
So I run out to see,
Hmm.
and I can still hear the steps, but there's no one there.
Yeah, that's one thing. We moved out of or they moved out of that house when I was like 6, so I didn't really get to experience anything that I remember. But the few little things that I did, I mean, it was just, I don't know. Like, I'd see things and, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. So, my grandma was up in the laundry room that was upstairs, and I remember being at the top of the steps, and then I seen this little boy run across the yard. And I told my grandma about it, and she was like, "Oh, it's probably just some neighbor or whatever." Fast forward a few years later, um, we were living in some apartments, and I was playing in my room, and I seen that same exact little boy run down the hall, and then that's happened again where we're living now. I remember I was getting ready for church one Sunday, and as I'm turning, I see that same little boy run across or run down the hall.
Oh
And
yeah.
but
Oh
see,
no.
as he was running down, we had a mirror in the, so it's like the hall, and then there was a mirror, and then the bathroom. I don't know how to explain the layout, but the mirror was facing into my room and my
Yeah.
door was open. So I seen him run down the hall. I go out there, I look in the mirror, I swear it was something out of the freaking Conjuring, Dad. I seen a man standing in the middle of my room.
Oh my God. I would have died. I would have died right there.
Yeah,
Heart attack, stroke. I'm out.
that's not the first time I seen him either. Because I seen him, I don't know when it was. I just remember no matter what, it, because we took down that mirror and we put a picture of me in the hall and the reflection from the glass and stuff.
You needed to put a picture of Jesus right there. Get a little
Tell,
Holy Spirit in that house.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because like a lot of people don't believe me when I say half the stuff that has happened to me and like stories that like we've went through and all that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, oh, it's ghosts aren't real and this that. I mean,
Look. Excuse me. Look, people can say whatever they want to say, but unless you've seen something or heard something,
yeah,
or at least been in the position or a place to where everyone else has,
hmm,
it's kind of hard to say definitively, like, that's not real. That's not true. I
yeah,
mean, even some of the stuff that you had told me when you were younger, I was like, I don't remember. I don't know if she's, um, if her imagination's getting the best of her, if she's really seeing or hearing some stuff. But then when the stories stay the same and they never change, it's
hmm,
like, no, she definitely saw something.
hmm,
She's definitely heard something, especially in places like that house. I
yeah.
definitely
It
heard some
was,
stuff. So
but everybody who came to that house, no matter if they were like friends or anything, like they heard something or they seen something.
yeah, I would have dared anyone to go to that house and not at least hear the footsteps, the random people walking around upstairs when no one's
Yeah,
there.
that's funny because um, my grandma's sister and her daughter stayed in mom's old room. That room was already creepy
Yeah.
because I mean the walls were black because she painted them black, and then there was like this closet nook type thing, like something that would be underneath the stairs,
Hmm.
and there was just a whole bunch of junk in that. And I remember her telling me the story how she was staying in that room because they came in town, and next thing you know, the radio started going off
Yeah,
that was in that
I remember
closet.
hearing that. Yeah.
And she was saying how like I, I, I don't know if it was her that said the story, but I could have swore she said something was like pulling at the comforter too.
I've definitely heard her. Yeah, I've heard that story. I remember that.
Like I'm telling you, that house was not something to mess with, like at all.
No.
Like that's, yeah. Imagine The
Well,
Conjuring, but like a,
they could have 100% filmed The Conjuring in that house, and it would have just been just as creepy.
yeah.
Yeah. It was the same, you know, like I said, the farm style plantation home.
But it's not like the modern farmhouse type thing. It was like
Yeah, no, it's not that like
creepy.
bougie. We're
Okay.
trying to make it look like a farm. No, it 100% farmhouse, just with a paint job and some new furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was rough.
Yeah, it's creepy. Really
Yeah.
creepy.
But about that man I was telling you about that I've seen in my room. Um,
Well, I remember hearing the kid. There were several stories about seeing the same like little boy.
yeah. Yeah, like that's not something I would lie about. Like I wouldn't lie about anything I've
Yeah,
seen.
no.
But it's like the fact from however old I was, I know I was young. Like I had to be at least like 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I remember you telling me about, some of these things back then,
Hmm.
and now,
I'm
all these
still.
years later,
It's like I don't know. It's like coming back to haunt me.
it's it's definitely creepy, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Like I
but
never had any when I was a kid growing up, I was scared and paranoid of everything, but I never really had anything like that. But,
well,
you know, being in that house and yeah.
and that's funny. I think it was oh, last week, maybe. I have no idea. Um, Joey, my boyfriend, was over and he was putting laundry up or something, or he was getting something off the dryer and taking it to my room. And in the reflection of my mirror, he's seen that same exact man. He walked back. He said, I'm not going back there. He said, I'm not going back in there. And I was like, wow, what happened? He said, I seen the same exact thing that you did.
Yeah.
And mind you, like, he's not the one to, he
But like
doesn't,
your grandmother's seen the same stuff, right?
what, the man?
Mhm.
No, my mom did. That was also last
Oh,
week. Yeah, I mean, we've all kind of had our, I don't know what you would call it.
run-ins, experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, where we're living at now, the story behind that house, I mean, I didn't find that out until, I think, last year or the year before that. And we've been living there for about 4 years now.
And what you're talking about is the house that you're living in now with your grandma, where your grandma lives,
Yeah.
um, used to be a pool, right? Like
It
a
used to
public pool.
it used to be the community pool for that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Um,
And if I remember correctly, you said it was like the community pool for the neighborhood. Um, one, maybe multiple people drowned.
no, it was actually a little boy.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. Little boy drowned. And then they basically just covered it with dirt,
Yeah.
planted some grass, and then,
Build a house on it.
yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yeah, I mean,
know.
if you're going to have stuff that's going to basically um, lead to a haunted house, that's probably a pretty good start.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's like, why is this happening every time like we move somewhere? Well, me and you have talked about that too.
Yeah, we have our theories. Well, I
Yeah.
definitely have mine for sure. Like I'm a pretty strong believer. I don't know if believer is the right word, but my thought is that maybe it's attached to either your mom or your grandma.
Definitely. That's yeah,
Yeah,
because
because it when it was at the house, it's like okay, well maybe the house is got some spirits or something there, like it's haunted, however you want to phrase it.
mm,
And then it's like they move into an apartment, something happens there, you start seeing things there. Your mom moves to a house, start seeing things there, similar things.
mhm,
Your grandma moves to another house, still seeing things.
yeah,
And the whole time, I've lived in what, maybe two different places, and I don't experience any of that stuff.
yeah,
So, I mean, I don't think that every place you move to is haunted,
I think it's something.
I think it might be something attached,
Honestly, I mean,
and I really don't think it would be attached to you,
yeah,
but
because
probably either your mom or your grandma.
if I like come over here, if I ever went to like a friend's house or something, I mean, nothing ever happened. It's just only wherever my grandma, my mom, and all that is. But I mean, yeah, again, like you said, something could be possibly attached, and I 100% believe that because in that big house where my great grandma was staying, my grandma's mom, she she got sick and all that, and she had to like she was paralyzed and stuff like so she couldn't move, so like she needed help just taking like a sponge bath. I mean, doing her hair or something, and my grandma still tells the story till this day, and because she was staying in that sunroom where the drums were, and
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, and she said that she heard just a whole bunch of racket, like gibberish, like blah, blah, and like she walked down the stairs. She opened up the door. Her mom is like sitting up, mind you, she's paralyzed, like she can't move.
Yeah.
She's sitting up, and her eyes are pitch black. And my grandma closed the door. She said, not today." So she called one of her friends. Um,
Yeah, that's the type of stuff they make movies about. I've seen
exactly.
those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never turns out good.
So she calls her friend. Um, she is she gets the pastor and stuff to come up to the house, or the preacher to come up to the house, and he prayed over her and stuff. And then my grandma said the whole room got brighter as he
Oh
was
yeah,
doing it. But again, like a lot of messed up stuff has happened, like a lot.
yeah,
And that being one major one, and that was in the house.
yeah. I mean, there's a like I said, or like we both said, there's a lot of people that don't believe any of that stuff. That's fine, but I've definitely seen enough and heard enough to know that it ain't just coincidence. It ain't just made up.
Yeah,
And I'm a pretty strong believer in areas where there may be a spirit, there may be a ghost, there may be something. Yeah, it's going to feed off of negative energy and negative people and negative things. And the stories that I've heard about your grandma, like there was definitely some negative stuff going
yeah,
on, and it was just sounds like it was just feeding right off of her and
yeah,
just amplifying everything. And yeah, I would have been terrified. I'm not gonna lie, that
yeah.
would have scared the crap out of me.
Um, do you have any stories from like the White House or anything like that?
I mean, I've got some stories, at least one, but we'll save that for another time.
Okay.
Save it for another episode. So, hey, y'all keep tuning in. Y'all keep checking it out. Y'all like these kind of stories? We'll tell you some stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how long we've been talking or how long this has been going, but I figured um, how we would try to end these shows is I've always been you know interested in making my own movie, maybe writing a book, something like that.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is use my imagination,
Okay.
and I'm going to make up a scenario, and then
Okay.
you just tell me how you think you would handle it. And since
Okay.
we're on the topics of ghosts, I'm just going to make one up off. It's a story off the top of my head
Mhm.
about a ghost. So let's say let's say you get older and decide to um, move into a new house. It's got its own land. It's kind of out in the middle of, not in the middle of nowhere, but it's a good drive before you get to any other houses. Nice, peaceful, dead smack in the middle of a plot of land, brand new house. You move in and you start noticing doors opening, tables being flipped upside down, sounds like scratching on the wall, footsteps constantly, always noise, glasses breaking. What's your move?
Gone.
You're not going to try to wait it out or try to see if you can fix the problem. Nothing. Just
No, as soon as a door opens by itself, I'm gone.
Just packing bags. You're done, huh?
I think my bags would pack themselves at that point. Like, I would be out of there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's definitely me watching too many movies because I've 100%.
What would you do in that scenario, though?
I mean, if you didn't want to move, get a priest in, try to bless the house. But I mean, there's a lot of different things. I mean, there's literally a movie, several movies, but the first one that comes to mind is the movie Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a housing development. They move into the house, found out that it was like a burial ground. They supposedly moved the people out into a new what do you call it, like graveyard or whatever, and then built the houses. But really, what happened is they just moved the tombstones, left the bodies, and built houses on top of them. I know that seems a little far fetched, but I mean the amount of like wars and different tribe. I mean, it's just all different types of stuff and ways that people have died, and maybe they were just buried. They didn't have a way to get to a graveyard. You build a new house on what you think is a empty plot of land, and you easily could build it on top of like an old ancient graveyard, and not even know it. And then you're 100% in that scenario in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you either just tear down, move, tear down, start over, or just try your best to get the place blessed up. And yeah,
I was going to say, like, what? I couldn't even imagine building a house exactly right on a graveyard, an old one.
Oh, trust me. Whether it be in the movie or in real life, if you're ripping up graveyard or ripping up gravestones and building houses, the people that's doing that ain't living there. They're getting the money so other people can be the guinea pigs. They're not living there, so it's nothing to them. But yeah, you just ruined somebody's life, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like I probably think about this way too much, but moving into a house and finding out afterwards that like somebody was murdered in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt when I found out about the little boy drowning. Mm-hmm. You best bet as soon as I turn 18, I'm gone. Gone.
Yeah, I believe I would be too. But yeah. So yeah, this was fun.
This was fun.
I think I'm going to stick with the hypothetical questions too. I like that.
Yeah,
until I run out of ideas. But yeah, I guess we will close this episode out. Like I said, this has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this. Hopefully, anyone that's come across this or seen this, you guys enjoy it. You guys have had some fun. If you like creepy stories, if you're into aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, ghosts, haunted houses, all that stuff, we're here. We're bringing some stories. We want to talk about it. And we're going to keep it as fun as possible. So we ain't trying to scare the crap out of you too bad, but if it happens, that's on you. Yeah. So again, I'm Brandon. This is my co-host Annavay. We are, I guess, sponsored by Desperado Metal Designs. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna throw a link up. You guys can check it out. Like, subscribe, do all the things that you know you need to do so we can grow this and keep going. And until next time, keep it spooky.